Well, good morning, boys and girls. Welcome to my shop. Mr. Martin here, Northern Alberta. And today, I want to share a special message with you from World Renew to their friends at the Canadian Food Grains Bank. And I'm just taking a break. I've been working this morning and reading something from the Canadian Food Grains Bank. Now, both World Renew and the Canadian Food Grains Bank are organizations that my wife, Mrs. Martin, and I like to support. And the Canadian Food Grains Bank does wonderful work. My lunch is a piece of bread. I love Mrs. Martin's homemade bread. She makes the best bread ever. It is just so yummy. This is kind of a sourdough bread. It's got all sorts of good stuff in it. And bread is a pretty special thing. And that's what the Canadian Food Grains Bank does, and that's what World Renew do. They help bring bread to people around the world. Now, how do they do that? Well, one of the ways they do it is through donations from people like me, Mrs. Martin. But there's another very special way in which the Canadian Food Grains Bank brings bread. They harvest all sorts of grains and donate them to people around the world. Bread is a pretty special thing. In fact, this is one kind of bread, but there are lots of wonderful, interesting kinds of bread. Let me show you some. I've got some here. You might even recognize some of these kinds of bread. There's these great big flat breads, or maybe you like to have tortillas. That's a kind of bread. This is a bread that comes from Asia. This is called naan bread. It's really yummy. Oh, this is one of my favorites. Isn't this a beautiful loaf of bread? This is a dark rye bread made with rye flour and tortillas, or tacos, pardon me. There's taco shells. These are made with a bread that's made with corn. All sorts of grains can be used to make bread. And that's where the people from the Canadian Food Grains Bank are really important. Now, I want you to think about what a blessing it is for us to live in a country like Canada. It's safe. We have enough to eat. But right now in this world, there are lots of children who are refugees. And that means that their country is not safe. Bad things are happening in their country. And sometimes they might have to get up and leave. They can't take any of their toys. They just have to run for their lives. And maybe they end up living in tents, in crowded things called tent cities. Not very nice places to live. And, we might take a piece of bread for granted. But if you were a refugee and someone gave you something to eat, gave you a piece of bread, that would be wonderful. If you think about it, Jesus taught us in our prayer, one of the things to pray for was our daily bread. Bread is so special. And, Jesus was also called the bread of life. When we give people bread, we give them hope. And we give them love. And the people at the Canadian Food Grains Bank, they work hard to donate grain so that people around the world can make bread. And we donate money so that people can buy bread. It's really important that we continue to make it possible for people to have good food to eat, just like this wonderful bread that Mrs. Martin makes for me for my lunch. So this week, I'd like you to talk to your mom and dad. Talk to them about World Renew, what they do, and what the people at the Canadian Food Grains Bank do, what special things they do. And I think all of us together, we can help feed the world. And when we feed the world, what else do we do? Well, we bring hope, we bring love. So this week, I want you to think about that. I want you to think about the ways in which maybe you can help. And maybe you can help nourish other people. Just like this really fine bread that Mrs. Martin makes nourishes me. Well, thanks for listening, and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.